Hey guys, this is Jay Calder with Jay Unboxing here giving you a personal prediction for Maxi Hughes versus Kid Galahad. And as always, this is just my take. Your predictions can be left down in the comments section below. Would love to hear them all. Kind of an under-the-radar fight. It's just a decent scrap in my personal opinion with some fairly close odds, so I figured I'd cover it here. Decent fight that I happen to like, so love to hear all your thoughts on this one down in the comments section below. And a little bit of fight info here. We have Hughes versus Galahad taking place at the Nottingham Arena in Nottingham, England, with a little more on the line now in this fight as it's moved into the main event slot now that Lee Wood and Mauricio Lara has been postponed due to a Wood injury. Ouch, unfortunate. This will be airing on DAZN in the lightweight division with a fringe lightweight title on the line, but this is more just about advancing the career of either man, so we'll get into that. And effectively, this is a fight where you have two fighters that really kind of need one thing from the other. A little bit different what they need, but they both kind of need it. I think Hughes has probably been on the better run as of late. Obviously, you could say that. He's probably riding something like a 5 or 6 fight, I think it's a 6-fight win streak going into this contest since his last loss, and has picked up a fringe title in the process, while Galahad was in a relatively tough fight in his title-winning performance against Jazza Dickens, and then was stopped pretty conclusively against Kiko Martinez. So now you have these fighters where Martinez, the more experienced world champion, is looking to bounce back against, a relative name. Hughes, who really needs that name to try to build more of a stock into his own personal career, because make no mistakes, this would be the biggest win of his career. So now you get into this fight with both of them looking to try and get from the other what they need. It'll be an interesting one, so let's break this one down. Starting with Hughes. For Hughes to win, I think you want to land the lead left hand. Galahad has been open for it in the last couple of fights. Maybe that's just due to him not being as sharp, due to the weight drain, or whatever it might be. But as the bigger man, you're looking to kind of catch him early, and this could be a shot that you could catch him kind of cold with. That's a bigger shot that you throw pretty well. It's a better exchange rate as well, because Galahad will be looking to jab a lot, especially early to kind of wet his feet in this fight in this new weight division where he's moving up from featherweight all the way to lightweight. So this could be a chance for you to kind of catch him a little earlier in the fight and let him know just exactly how the new division feels. And as mentioned, it's a shot that you have in the bank, so certainly one that you should look to use. I would also say take the center of the ring. Now for you, this means you're more on the front foot in this particular case. It can mean a couple different things, but for you, that's what it means. You want to be pushing forward a little bit more. You're making your added natural weight count. That's what you're looking to do against a guy moving up in weight. Dimensionally, you guys are about the same. There's not a gigantic difference. But you are conditioned and accustomed to not having to cut nearly as much and to holding these extra pounds. What you want to do is you want to be able to then utilize that by pushing forward a little more, leaning on him, backing him up, and using those advantages as opposed to giving them up. If you're letting him press forward, it really just means that you're playing as though he's the bigger man there, and you don't have enough power to really walk him into something necessarily. So you're going to want to be on the front foot so that you can actually load up with a little more of that power from time to time and make him pay. And as I sort of alluded to there, make him feel the new weight. This means stepping forward. This means actually, again, pushing the action sometimes and kind of getting behind that lead left hand. It means leaning on him. It means making him work a hotter pace than he might not necessarily like. You have fairly busy hands when you want to, and you have to make sure that you're forcing that action out of him while he's having to carry this additional weight. Having those extra pounds could wear on him in those latter frames rather, because he's just not used to it. It might not seem like a gigantic jump, but a 10-pound jump in the matter of one fight to the other could potentially play a role in this contest. So you're looking to test that out by really pushing forward, landing those big shots early, as I mentioned, and trying to make him feel this extra weight in this fight. Now for Galahad, I think you want to keep a busy jab. This will dictate the distance as well as direction of this particular fight. Galahad will exchange, but has to do it when he wants to, and he has to do it after establishing that jab, in my personal opinion. Use the jab to ensure you buy that space, double it up at times, and you'll push him back, which again, I think Hughes wants to come forward. I think that's his best bet in this fight. If he's not able to do it because the jab's backing him up, that's all the better. And of course, that's what you should be trying to do if you're Galahad. I would also say land something early. I think it's important to land something early because you want to make sure that he respects your power enough. Doesn't have to hurt him necessarily, but it has to be something that makes him realize this isn't just a featherweight fighting at lightweight, in other words. This could be a body blow or even just a simple one too, but it has to be there. This, of course, also allows for you to throw more freely if you know that he at least has to respect your shots. Again, doesn't have to fear them, doesn't have to necessarily go down, though, of course, I'm sure you'll take that. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the goal. Just be enough to kind of keep him respectful of your power and question coming in. And if you can do that, you can then let the momentum build. Finally, I would say work the body. This is one of the best ways to shrink a bigger man, and truthfully, both could benefit from this because a bigger man, of course, can make the smaller man really feel even smaller by breaking him down this way. But this is one of the best ways to shrink a bigger man down. Hughes might not be bigger, quote unquote, but he's used to this weight more. He's a bigger fighter, not necessarily dimensionally. But you want to make sure you can level that off by going to the body. This makes him weaker, it makes him slower, it limits his movement, takes his already limited power away, and if you can get to it consistently, and these are all good things if you're Kid Galahad. Now, it's a tricky fight due to the recent form, but I have Galahad pulling this one off in a tactical fight. While you might think the size of Hughes is too much, especially since Galahad was stopped at featherweight most recently, you could equally argue the jump in weight means he's sharper and with better punch resistance as he's not making a huge cut and draining himself. So it's a wash. And it comes down to who is the better fighter overall, and I still think that happens to be Galahad. I think it's tentative early. Galahad takes a few frames to get going, but his skills heat up in those early middle rounds, and he pulls away in the latter frames with movement, steady jabs, and some solid inside work that troubles Hughes, perhaps even to the body because he can throw some decent shots there, which will lead to him having a decent fight in this one overall and winning those later frames. Kid Galahad via unanimous decision. Now, in terms of the betting odds here, you have Hughes coming in at a plus 180. He's a slight underdog here, with Galahad coming in at a minus 235. If you happen to think Hughes wins this fight, you have some decent odds, nearly 2-1 there. I wouldn't put much more than a small bet on that if that's kind of your inclination, but from a Galahad perspective, there's really not much here to go at, not even in the over-under. The over-under is at a 10.5 here, which is coming in the over at a minus 225 with the under at a plus 175. Again, if you think Hughes happens to stop him being the bigger man, the under might be attractive. But for me personally, I think it's a decision. I don't get a lot of value there either. The only thing I could think of would be maybe parlaying something like that. That could potentially be enticing. But for the most part, straight up bets in those areas are just not really all that enticing to me personally. And in any event, my record as of Saturday, September 17th is 28-8-1 with 10 exact. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, predictions, bets, so on and so forth. Bets, especially in this one, kind of tight money here, hard to pick in my personal opinion. Would love to hear what you guys are doing with those there. Please be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow me on Twitter at jcalderon_JOB, and you can email me at jagunboxing@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you there. Also, be sure to check out jagunboxing.com for schedule, results, betting odds, rankings, all that good stuff. And as always, until next time.